What's up, guys? Hi, my babies. Hi. I know I have to finish that story on how I was with the biggest dealers. Forget it. I mean, after that, I met more dealers and more dealers and more dealers and more dealers. But I always stood in school. I took up dental hygiene. Even if I went with a hangover or just going from the fucking bar to work, I went. I went. I went to work all the time. It didn't matter to me. We all did. We all never left school. Never, 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 never. But anyway, I was gonna tell you guys about how my daughter was kidnapped by her. I have two baby daddies. One is Crystal's and the other two is Sierra and Natasha's. So anyway, let me tell you how my daughter kidnapped my daughter. We were all right. I was living in New York. This is gonna take more than 30 minutes, so I know I'm gonna have to do like a part two and come right back on because I want you guys to know. Well, what happened was we're gonna start from being in New York. I was in New York, right, and I was coming out of work. I decided to walk. My cigarette turned off. Same cigarette, guys. Same cigarette. So we came out of my job, me and Shari. Shari was this girl that her mother just fucking, she was 11 years old, her mother threw her out of her house. And my father didn't want her in our house because he didn't want no problems at all with nobody's mother. And we didn't care. I used to put Shari and fix I had such a big closet. I've always had big closets. I mean, really big walk-in closets. And I used to put Shari and I put blankets and pillows for her, and I used to put it in my closet. And my father used to always know that, and he used to fucking always open that closet. And I hated that he would do that and throw her out. And we would have to wait till he left at 5:30 in the morning and then bring her back in because that's how it was. Her mother didn't want her. She really did not want her. And we decided that she was going to become family. Now, she was black, and I have another sister. They're not our sisters, but we call them our sisters because we grew up together, so we're sisters. We grew up since we were little girls together, so we're sisters. Sissy, my sister Sissy, she's black. Shari, she's black. And they were our sisters. We taught them how to talk Spanish, for the love of God. I mean, we grew up together from little girls, so I moved out here. But my sissy still comes out here, and she comes out here once a year. But now that she's going to retire early, thank God, because she's retiring early. She's been working so long. She does parole. And I'm not gonna say my sissy's real name, but I'll say Shari's name because Shari wouldn't care, and there's nothing bad. I felt bad for her, so I put her in the closet. What's that? I will put her in the closet, and my father throw her out. I'll bring her right back in. Anyway, so me and Shari were walking. She went to pick me up from my job, and we were walking back. I worked on 74th Street, in the right near across the street from the Apple Bank building. I mean, right there on Broadway, 72nd Street. Look up the Apple Bank building. On the fourth floor. I worked there for so many years, and so I moved to Florida, and then I got a job working here as a dental assistant. But when I would go back to New York, I would go and work for him. Now, this is some time that I was on the run from my daughter's father, and I was on the run, trust me. This man used to beat me, but I never stood hurt. Hit. I'm the type of person, you touch me, we're gonna throw fucking down. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. I don't give a fuck if you're an alien, if you're purple, green, orange. I don't give a fuck. You put your hands on me, I'm going for you. And I promise you that. And that's how we were raised in church, but still. So you saw what happened to me in church. I mean, if you saw my story time. Anyway, so he would keep me from my family. He would keep me from going to my mother's house. He would keep me from going to my own house. He had me in a basement with his mother and his sister and her son and another sister that was a fucking crackhead. And she used to fucking leave for days at a time and then come back. I took the first day that I fucking stood with him in his house. I woke up and all my jewelry was gone because I had a habit of taking all my jewelry. And I got a lot of jewelry, of taking off my jewelry and putting on the side. So when I went there and thinking nobody was going to fucking steal all my damn jewelry, and she didn't take one ring. No, she took like 4 rings. I had rings on my thumbs. She took like 3 chains. I had like 7 chains, big ones, big ones. I got a story to tell you about a big chain. Not right now. But my daughter's father used to keep me in this basement with his family, and his mother used to watch everything I did. I went from having the best life to going to the worst life. I had already stopped doing powder. That was for fun. Now, you know, we were grown. Everybody has their past. It's not like nobody has a past. I have a past, and it was fun, and nobody could tell me motherfucking different because I was there and I had the best fucking time of my life. So anyway, I ended up walking and from 74th Street, I'm not gonna say to where, but to my house, and where I live with my father and my sisters, and I was walking, and on a block, he was coming out of, I'm not gonna say what block, on a block he was coming out of a store, and he was with he had a hot chocolate in his hand, and it's one of them came out white like me, and the other one came out looking just like him. He looked like he was like a very light black. He was Dominican, and Dominicans are, some of them are white as me, but most of them are usually more tan. And he was tan. He was really good looking. He had a body. He was built, and I should have known that he was a monster. I don't know how I didn't know that he was a monster. This man was the worst man you could ever come across. I'm telling you, he would, if he would even, he would fucking get so crazy that my daughter had a cough when she was a baby, and I was trying to take her to St. Luke's Hospital. on 114th Street and Amsterdam Avenue. And I wanted to take her to the hospital. And when my elevator opens at 1:30 in the morning, he's standing in the fucking elevator. Oh, I was so happy when he was in jail. He was always in jail. With the cases he had against me, he had been in jail 49 times. You know what it is to be in jail 49 times? The time that I got arrested for a couple of hours, I think it was 2 hours. And that was horrifying for me. Imagine being arrested 49 times. Well, he was. I didn't know nothing about his background. I knew nothing of him. I knew that he was cute. He came out. And he tells us, and he looked at us, and we smiled at him. And when I was walking up the block, I turned around and I looked back. That should have been the worst thing. That was the worst thing I ever did of my life. Was turn my back and look at him. My head, I'm sorry, and look at him. And then he smiled and I smiled back. That was the worst thing I could have ever done. Because he was nothing but a monster. And he was a monster. Anyway, he invited me and Shari. No, he said we were walking and he pulls up in a cab. And he's like, "You guys need a ride?" And we were like, "No, we don't. Thank you. We don't live too far from here." And he was like, we were like already like about a 15-minute walk already away from him. And we were talking about him. And Shari was telling me, "Oh, we'll see him again. We'll see him again. Don't worry about it. Worst thing I ever fucking did was see that man. Let's look at him." So anyway, my father had a condo in the Bronx, and my father gave it to me for $300 a month. That's it. Okay? And the $300 a month was because he wanted us to start being responsible and everything. But I already had my own apartment. When I got married before all of this happened. I was married. My father gave me an apartment on 103rd on 3rd Avenue in the East Side. And I had an apartment right there. As a matter of fact, I don't know if y'all know Hector Camacho, Macho Camacho, the boxer. Well, he was my man for a little while. Yep, he was. I got proof. You can ask my whole family and friends. He was an abusive man also, trust me. Anyway, so, I ended up, he ended up getting out of the cab and he said, "Would you guys want to go for a drink tonight?" And me and her said, "Yeah." And he said, "All right, well, I got to finish working. And when I'm done working, I'll pick you up." I gave him my address. And I told him, "I live on the 19th floor, but if you honk, I can hear you perfectly." And he was like, "Okay, no problem." I didn't tell him what floor I lived on. I told him what building I lived at. And that was the worst thing I could have done, was go for that drink with him. Because after that, I started seeing him. He started picking me up from my job, but I was still going and chilling with my friends. And he didn't like that. He didn't like it at all. He took me away from everybody. And I ended up pregnant, and I didn't want to be pregnant. I love my children, sorry. But I did not want to have his kids. As much as I love my children, I did not want to have his kids. because he was an abusive man. The second day that I was with him, he slapped me in my face. And I wasn't with him. But now, to him, I was his woman. And he was going to fucking pick me up from work. And he didn't want my friends pick me up from work. He was... He, everything went haywire. And when he slapped me, I don't know why I left. I got away from him for about a month. But he came back and he was like, yo, I'm sorry. And I would like to take you out. And I was like thinking about it. I didn't want to go out with him at all. But my sister said, why don't you give him a chance and see? I said, if he hit me on the second day, what's he going to do to me? And she was like, he was like, yo, that's not me. Forgive me. Bro, I don't know what came over me. I'm asking you to forgive me. And I was like, looking at him. I grabbed my coat and I put it on and I said, you know what? I said, I'll go for a drink with you. I should have never went for that drink with him because he kidnapped me. He took me for no drink and he took me straight to his house in Dykeman. He lived in Dykeman, uptown Manhattan, really uptown. Look up Dykeman if y'all don't know. So he took me to Dykeman, and I hung out on Dykeman. That's where all the clubs were. And he put me in this basement and got me pregnant and didn't let me because God forgive me. God forgive me. I love my kids. But I would have had an abortion from him in a second. But thank God I didn't because I got my beautiful girls. But he would hit me, punch me. I would fucking punch him back. We would fucking get into fist fights. His sister moved in with us and she used to jump on him with me. He was a motherfucker. When I tell you a motherfucker, he picked up a fan and threw it at me. He really wanted, and he used to tell me, call the cops, and before the cops come, I'm going to slash your face. And he would, when his sister would leave, and she'd say, I'm calling the cops, he would say, go ahead, I'm going to slash her face before they would come in. And he meant it. He really did mean it. He would grab a nail clipper and get the side, the little piece that goes in the middle. He would get that, and he would fucking, with that, he would open it up and say, I will slash your face if you open the door to the police. And he was a motherfucker, guys. It's saying I'm out of time. I'm going to put this through and come back on, all right? I'm sorry. I'm going to let it go until it's maximum. But anyway, him living in my apartment that was only $300 my father gave us was a nice, beautiful apartment. He fucking would tell me, let the cops in and you're going to see what the fuck's going to happen to you. I'm going to slash your fucking face. He meant it because, I'll tell you, I'll get to that. So, one night we went to my friend's house, Maria, and I'll tell you about her. She was crazy. Well, Maria went to her house. I had introduced her to this Dominican guy and at the bar. And they ended up making a family together. And they sit together